Wyatt gave us an order, which was to gather the souls that were 20 miles within the vicinity, and we had to part ways to carry out the task. Peter insisted to be near me, but Wyatt silenced him with a raised hand and said firmly, "She has to prove that she is not a delicate flower." It was nice of him, but unnecessary. Now, to further explain of an angel's anatomy, we can choose to be either solid or intangible. Depending upon our decisions, there is the option of becoming solid in order to interact and create an impact upon the world, or phase through objects. The principle can be applied to our visibility and changing our appearances. This explanation will be relevant as these abilities were demonstrated upon meeting Mr. Faceless for the first time. As I walked further into the forest to search for child souls, the silence had been broken by the sound of a high-pitched scream. You would wonder why I had followed the sound despite my station as a reaper. Well, we only harvest souls of those who are chosen by the fates, and those who are not assigned are to be protected until their appointment arrives for them. I had to be certain that person was not chosen, or it would be negligent of me to ignore a cry for help. I flew over the obstacles as fast as possible, and phasing through trees was convenient for my rescue mission. To my surprise, I had seen a spindly giant of a man, dressed in gentleman attire, holding a little girl by the throat. As I looked closer upon the enemy, he had no face, and was hairless. A slit formed upon the head, where it displayed teeth that resembled a shark's mandibles. He was terrifying to behold, which surpassed any demon I had ever encountered. I took a moment to analyze the little girl dressed in fine clothes and sported blonde curly hair, and she was not chosen, which gave me the invite to protect her. "Hey! Tall, dark, and faceless! Put her down!" I demanded. The creature turned to face me, growling in anger, and a deep voice spoke within my mind. "Who dares interrupt my feast?" "Maid Saturday, I serve Hades. Now let the girl go!" I said, drawing my dual sickles from my belt of my black dress. "Ah, one of the angels, your kind are most infuriating," he said, and released the child from his great height. I grumbled while holstering the weapons, leaping forward, catching the girl in my arms, and landed upon the grass in a crouching position. The girl coughed and managed to utter gratitude while crying. "Run!" I said briefly to her, and the child obeyed my command without protest. Tentacles from the creature's height zoomed towards me, and I drew the sickles again to sever the appendages swiftly. "Keep those to yourself, sir," I said firmly, as black blood gushed from his wounds. "You are trying my patience, Fräulein," he said with a grimace in his tone. "Likewise. I'm on a mission, and you are slowing me down," I said with cold sternness. The tentacles upon the ground dissolved into a tar substance which smelled of sulfur, and new ones began to regenerate. "Tell me of this mission," he said coldly, grabbing my torso by two large bony hands and brought me closer to his face. "Why should you be concerned?" I asked. "Because I must know the affairs of the world. If angels are involved, then the matter is dire. I had met many a death angel before, but you are the first female of its kind," he replied. "I am not entirely traditional," I said while phasing through his hands. He was caught off guard for a moment, while I hovered near him and sent the heel of my boot into his forehead. The creature recoiled a few steps backwards while holding his head. Victor's voice yelled. I heard Victor yell in German for him to leave me alone. Was him. "Another one? This is really becoming annoying," he exclaimed. I landed upon the ground as Victor approached. The man had done a gesture which I did not expect. He hugged me suddenly and in a tight embrace. My eyes widened as I am not used to such concern and can only hug him awkwardly in return. "Are you hurt, Fräulein?" he asked in a tone which seemed to be paternal. "Yes, I'm fine. I had done more damage to him than he had done to me," replying with assurance. "You had me worried," Victor said, lightly scolding me. It comes with the job. Let's focus on him, I said, pointing to the creature. Victor and the Slender Man yelled at each other, each demanding to know each other's business and wanted to sound tough. I grew impatient and said, "We are on a mission to stop Zalgo from bringing the apocalypse. Are you satisfied, Mr. Faceless?" He tilted his head as to display curiosity and replied, "Yes, I am, and it seems that we have a common enemy. We had fought before a millennia ago and would like to confront him again. He and I are rivals in the world's demise. I only wish to feast on humankind, as he wishes for complete devastation. It interferes with my livelihood. You have my temporary allegiance, angels. We shall be at an arm's length distance. Do not get comfortable with us," Victor warned. I stepped forward and extended my hand to him, stating, "Alliance accepted. Let's shake hands to seal the deal." His hand met mine, grasping my palm with his forefinger and thumb, and we shook hands together. After the handshake, he had done a gesture which seemed to be out of character for him. Mr. Faceless knelt closer, his face formed lips which met the back of my hand, and said, "Our pact is sealed." This had caused my cheeks to become warm and grumble in mild frustration. "How tsundere of you," a blond boy dressed in a green woodsman costume said. "It's adorable," Sally squealed. "Oh, geez, there has to be some romance in there," Jeff complained. I like it," Toby said, chuckling. "Well, duh, stuff like that is normal," Jane said with a matter-of-fact tone. "Like you would know," Jeff teased. "I will get to the part where we get to forensics and go further down into the metaphorical rabbit hole," I assured them. "It better be bloody," Jeff said. "Oh, it will be, and crazy too," assuring him. Sally poked Mr. Faceless' cheeks, which seemed to be light pink, and taunted, "Someone still has a crush." "Hush, kind," he said flatly.